Hey everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis. And I'm Tavis. Let me start this video by saying this. Go Chiefs! What a game. Looks like that the Kansas City Chiefs will be returning to the Super Bowl. I'm very excited. I live downtown in Kansas City, right in the heart of Kansas City, Missouri. Craziness, madness. Guns have been shooting, firecrackers have been popping, people have been waving out their cars. I'm like, oh, these folks don't have a wreck up in here. But we are excited for the Chiefs. Very excited. Can't wait to see the Super Bowl when it happens. So I hope you watched the game. I hope you enjoyed it. But this video is just not about that. This is about Soul Tag that I saw and I had to get on board. The Soul Tag, the Soul Tag, the Soul Tag. We can't get enough soul. I know I can't. So I got me some records today. But I also got me some cassettes. Y'all, I never thought I'd buy a cassette again. I just don't know. I was looking around and I saw this big, long shelf of cassettes. And I said, let me just see what's going on here. And I saw some things. I'm like, 50 cents? $1? Child, I had to get me a few cassettes and I'll show you those in a moment. I'm so happy about this record, y'all. I had not known about this record from Isaac Hayes. Juicy Fruit Disco Freak. I'd never heard of this record before. Look at that album cover. Is that not just complete madness? 1976, y'all, I've been listening to this ever since I came home. Look at the inside. Well, looks like we know what they got playing.
Corey, pull up your pants. Nobody gonna see your nasty little drawers.
Isaac Hayes, man, he was a mess. 1976, this is one heck of an album. And this is in awesome condition. And look at that bald head right there. Can you see that redness? Isaac Hayes right there showing that baldness. We in the bald club. What a great record. Oh, awesome. I'm trying to do a thumbnail. This is a good record, y'all. I tell you, I've been cleaning my house, just having a good time listening to this. Awesome. Now we have Archie Bell and the Drells. Let's Groove. Man, I tell you, that tune, I think that was the tune that I first heard from Archie Bell and the Drells that really got me on board with them. My daddy liked the song called, is it called Tighten Up? Something like that. I forgot the name of the song, but my dad liked that song. But Let's Groove is a jam. And of course, this was written by Huff, Whitehead, and McFadden. You know, they did that song, Ain't No Stopping Us Now, We're on the Groove. So that kind of has that sound to it. But Archie Bell and the Drells, look at that, y'all. Look at that. Album is in wonderful condition. It sounds awesome too. I love that song, Let's Groove. I don't think that they really got the credit that they deserved as a group. But this is a good album. And this album is called Archie Bell and the Drells, Dance Your Troubles Away. And when you listen to Let's Groove, you will dance your troubles away. Now, I've shown this before. In fact, I believe I've shown it many times. The first time I showed this record, I just went insane and started playing one of the songs, and I was just dancing. This was back in the early days of Vinyl Talk with Tavis. But I had to get it again. Just had to. When I see something and I already have it, I might get it 3 or 4 times. How many of you do that? Yep, so I probably have about 3 copies of this now. To me, this is my favorite Rick James record because Standing on the Top with the Temptations, that is a jam. The good old days of R&B. What has happened to R&B these days, y'all? 1982. Sexy Rick James. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, he knew he looked good with them oily legs. What was he trying to do? I tell you, what a great album. What a great, great album. What's on the inside here? Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Rick James. Those braids. He was a character. He was a character. Rest in peace, Rick James and Isaac Hayes. Now, next is the Pointer Sisters. Their debut album featuring the song Yes We Can. I've owned this before, but I sold it and I had to get it again. I had to. So this was worthy to buy again. There's only one living Pointer sister at this time, and it is Ruth, who happens to be, I believe, the oldest one. She's right there. And rest in peace, all of you sisters. You all have left a legacy of wonderful music. There's a great friend of mine that sold me their album called Breakout. That album is just a phenomenal record too. But this is their debut album, and I love it just as much as Breakout. And I'm just so glad to own this again. So glad. You know, it's all about the hunt. You know, you may sell your records and then you see it again and you want to buy it again, and you say to yourself, I'm never going to sell. As a matter of fact, I think I want to do a video pretty soon on all the records that I did not sell, because I made a dynamic move. And in that move, I decided to sell some records because I was not going to be taking all those records with me. I had a humongous record collection about 2 years ago. And I just didn't feel like carrying all that stuff in that car. So I made a major sale, but there were some records that I refused to sell. And I think I'm going to be doing a video about that. Yeah, and I still have those records. Most of them are gospel music because that's my heart. But yeah, some records you just won't sell. You just won't. Now, speaking of gospel, soul would not be soul if it were not for gospel. This is Dr. Charles G. Hayes and the Cosmopolitan Church of Prayer Choir. This is a magnificent gospel album. The good old days when you had choirs marching in with their robes, and there were no praise teams like there are now. There were actual 50 to 100 voice choir behind the pulpit, behind the preacher singing. The good old days, just the good old days. Y'all, look at that. Good old days. Man, I tell you, this takes me back. This year, this album was from 1982. Oh, man, that's a great record. I know that record. Found something new. It's old, but it's new to me. This is Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Operation Push Choir. And it features, you know, many of the great gospel artists back then, like Andre Crouch and Walter Hawkins and Edwin Hawkins, his brother. And we have Bill Thetford, who was a part of the Andre Crouch background singers. We have Jesse Dixon, Tremaine Hawkins, Danny Bell Hall. I tell you, this is fantastic. This concert was done in 1978, and I had a chance to listen to it while I was at the record store, and I was really blown away by what I was hearing. So if you are interested in something like this, I would guarantee that you will enjoy it if you buy it. And Jesse Jackson, you know, he was really something back in his heyday, pushing for excellence for Black people and just just doing awesome things politically with regard to Martin Luther King, and Black History Month is coming up, so I think this goes well with Black History Month. Push for excellence. And I'm so happy to have this in my collection, especially because Andre Crouch is in it, and he's my favorite gospel singer and songwriter of all time. Now let's go to the cassettes. Y'all, never would have thought. Never would have thought. Now, this is not soul, but hey, it's blue-eyed soul. So I think that goes right along with it. Look at this. Boz Scaggs. Lido. Whoa. And Low Down. Oh. Dirty old. Ooh. I wonder. Ooh. Look at that. And it was $4. Had to get that. I haven't had a cassette in years. Now, my cassette player is in my classroom. Remember those days of cassettes, y'all? You were just hoping that the tape wouldn't break, and if it got kind of tangled up, you get a pencil and put it in one of those holes and turn it. And I'd hate when I take the tape out, the cassette out, and the tape would be stuck in the player. Oh man, that would just mess up my day. Media. The way that we consume media and how it has changed. I wonder what will be the next medium in which we will consume our music. Can it get any better than just listening to it digitally through our headphones with an iPhone? Can it get much better than that? That's something to think about. But until then, I still got this. So we still got what we love. Cassettes, record CDs. Hadn't bought a cassette in years. I had to get this, y'all. Look at this. And I just talked about this. I just talked about Barbra Streisand and her autobiography. This was 50 cents. I can't believe it was 50 cents. I said, yes, I'm getting that. Barbra Streisand and Barry Gibb, Guilty. What kind of fool tears it apart, leaving me pain and sorrow, losing you now. Is this soul? I'm gonna say it's soul. I don't care what you say. It's still soul tag. What about this? The soundtrack of Footloose. It was $3. Let's hear it for the boy. Oh, let's give the boy a hand. Let's hear it for my baby. No, you got to understand. Oh, had to get that. Remember when the cassettes turned into something like this? When it was transparent? I would just be in love with these cassettes back in the day. Wow. I can't wait to take it to my classroom and show my students about cassettes. I don't think many of them have seen these before unless their parents have them. And then lastly, no, I have one more after this. The Jacksons, Victory, with Torture and The State of Shock with Mick Jagger and Michael Jackson. There's some good songs on here, y'all. This is one of the Jacksons, to me, one of their best projects. Right when Michael Jackson was hitting it big in 1983 and 84 with Beat It and Billie Jean, and he came on board. He wasn't on all the tunes, but the tunes that he was on, you could hear him shine. Man, that's awesome. And lastly, another great gospel record by the wonderful singer, Shirley Caesar. This is Live in Chicago. She came out strong with this one. And it was when was this released? 1988. Oh, wow, this was a great album. Great cassette. And I have the album too. I have the vinyl. But had to get it on cassette, y'all. Can't believe it. I can't believe, look at this, y'all. I know all of y'all got some cassettes. You got some cassettes. So I'm glad that I'm back on the cassette train. Well, everyone, that's all I have for you today. And I want to thank you for joining me. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you have not. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, with music. And with Isaac Hayes, with women all around him, with fruit hats on their heads. Be inspired and stay inspired.